say, and what are some things that come to mind for us to say to a next generation of young women?
Whatever you are today, know your worth, because it will never change. It will be the same thing tomorrow. It'll be the same thing the next day. Know your worth.
I work with inner city kids who are at risk, who go through hellacious things. And one thing I'll ask them, I said, if you crumble up a $100 bill, how much is it worth? They're like $100. It's like, what if you balled it up and put it in your pocket and threw it on the ground and a car ran over it? How much is it worth? They're like $100. I said, yeah. So remember to not let your situation or your circumstances dictate who you see yourself as, and to know that I heard a pastor from Alaska say that our tears are as precious or more precious than diamonds. And just to look at you, to look at ourselves as priceless, not worthless, but don't have an overinflated sense of self at the same time.
To those young women outside the church, to know Christ, to learn of Christ, and to trust in Him, and allow Him to be their lover, and to show them what love is. And to those inside the church, to allow Christ to be their lover, and to show them what love is. And to, just echoing just everything my sisters have said, just understanding their worth and their value, because that's the big question for women. Am I lovely? Do you love me? Do you see me? Do you notice me? And just you really starting with Christ and what He says about them, and noticing them and loving them, and using those definitions to navigate, their lives.
What weighs heavy on my heart is the person who will say yes, but yes, but I've had an abortion. Yes, but I'm not a virgin. I've had multiple sex partners. Yes, but I used to be gay. Or yes, but because I am currently blah, 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 blah. And one thing I just want to encourage whoever with is that God looks at you and says, you are beautiful. He does not see what the world sees, what the people around you, and not even what you see. So to the person who is acting conceited, but she really feels like she's worth nothing on the inside, Jesus died for you. To the girl who was molested or abused or abandoned, or to the girl who has like some kind of disease or a birth defect, or may have been in a fire and she doesn't feel beautiful, God says you're beautiful. To them, God says you're beautiful. And so let God's truth be bigger than your perception of His truth. And run with that. Never forget that. Because if you forget that, then you're leaving yourself susceptible and open to all kinds of lies. And so as a man thinketh, he shall be. So if we think that we're one way, that's how we're going to act. But if we live and rely on what God says, or who He says we are, we will be all right.
You're bombarded with all these images of what it means to be beautiful, but remembering that God took His time in creation. You already are beautiful and you're wonderfully made, and you're fearfully made. Like, it's scary how fly you are, so just remember that.
What always helps me, and that I would just kind of want to open up every little girl and pour into her and help her understand, is that no matter how crumpled up I feel, no matter how run over I may get, I'm always reminded when I come to the thought that I don't feel special, I don't look pretty, I don't feel worthy, maybe nobody loves me. The one unchanging factor that never changes, that always reminds me, like, no, somebody does, and yes, you are, is that, oh, Jesus died for me. Like, because that can't change. He died, and He did it for me. So when everything else is screaming at me and saying something else, it's like, no, the Lord loves you, and you want to know how? Look at the cross.